where to begin. Okay, as you may have heard, very recently the great actor Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away, and it's a shocking thing. It's so unreal even to say those words right now. It's, I don't know, it's one of those kind of deaths of an actor or any celebrity of any kind that really just knocks you for six, that you can't expect it to happen. And I don't know, the last times I remember feeling this way about any other celebrity, where it feels just so weird and wrong for it to happen, like Heath Ledger and Leslie Nielsen, James Gandolfini, Brittany Murphy, recently Corey Monteith, you know, all these people that just seems like this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like their time to go. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Every year we always expect celebrity deaths to happen. It's like just a part of the way the world works. Just death in general is a part of how life works. But, you know, because we look at these people in things that they do, film or TV or whatever else, we feel like we know them, because we feel like in some very weird, disconnected but very tangible way, we feel like we know them, like we're connected to them, even though we're not really, but we still feel like we are, because, you know, if they're an actor especially, there's a piece of themselves in the work that they've been a part of, and, you know, it's part of their craft, and they put their heart and soul into it, presumably, and I don't know if I'm making any sense at all. This is all off the top of my head, it's unscripted, so I don't know. This probably is just a lot of meaningless twaddle, but it's not meaningless that Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away, because, I don't know, it feels like he's been doing movies for so long. For almost as long as I've been alive, it feels like. For as long as I've been aware of movies, it feels like he's been starring in them. And he always... I don't know. The fact that he's now died, and that he'll never make any more movies past the ones that are like in post-production and are soon to be released, the ones that he was still working on. The fact that he won't make any more movies after them, the fact that he's not part of like the cinematic filmmaking furniture anymore of that world. I don't know, to refer to him as furniture as well, that seems rather flippant, but you know what I mean, you can't really imagine Hollywood and film and all that without him being in it, like many other actors who have passed away recently, like the ones that I just said. And I know it feels weird talking about this like this, and I'm not qualified really to be talking about it in any meaningful way, I don't think. I just, as like a film fan, as someone who's been watching the films that he's been in for so long, I can't let it pass by without giving some kind of mentioning of it. I don't know, I feel I owe it that kind of weight. This is going to be painful to edit later on, I know. But on to what this whole video is. In this whole DVD collection that I have, this not being all of it here, but just cumulatively, collectively, these are the films that I own, which have Philip Seymour Hoffman in them in one way or another, usually very big roles. And I'm surprised that I don't have more. I feel like I've seen him in a lot more than just these 8 films, but, you know, that's just the way it goes, I suppose. And the reason that I bring these up is because of this top one here. Because, you see, just under a year ago, I did a video as part of Videos Every Day in April, where I did a video commemorating the loss of Roger Ebert. And in it, I recommended this film here. And as well as that, a few years ago I did a video which is now deleted, it's not on here, where I did 101 film reviews, and in that I also mentioned Synecdoche, New York. And the reason that I've mentioned this film so many times on here, well, 3 times, probably more than that, the reason that I bring this film up time and time again was, well, originally I just kept wanting to mention it a lot because I wanted people to see it, because it is a magnificent film. It's an absolute masterpiece, and it's one of those films that I always want other people to see so that I can talk about it with them, because it's, I don't know, for me as a guy that watches loads of films, this is one of my favourite ones, and I have a lot of favourite ones out of all the ones I've ever seen. And then when Roger Ebert died, I picked this one in particular to recommend, and now that Philip Seymour Hoffman has died, I'm picking this one yet again, for the simple reason that, I don't know, this film feels like the right one to recommend at this time. I mean, with Roger Ebert, it was because of the review that he gave for this film, and it was extremely profound, and it felt very appropriate to commemorate Roger Ebert in that video. And I think that in this one now, for Philip Seymour Hoffman, this film, of all the ones that I have here, this is the one to single out as being the one that you should watch, that anyone should watch really, because the film itself, it deals with death. The entire film is about death. That is its subject at its core, and it permeates throughout the entire film. Now let me back up a bit and fill you in on some information about the film. The film, once again, is Synecdoche, New York. It took me a long time to be able to say it. Luckily on the DVD cover it actually has it spelled out phonetically so that you know how to say it. It was made in 2008. It was written and directed by Charlie Kaufman, and it stars Philip Seymour Hoffman, Michelle Williams, Samantha Morton, Tom Noonan, Emily Watson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and a whole host of other great actors in the film. But how would I describe it? A man lost in the chaos of his own life receives the opportunity to contextualize and attempt to make sense of his life by adapting it into a massively epic stage play. That's a really bad description, because there's so much more to it than that. I mean, the film is so surreal. It's very blackly comic, it's very dreamlike, but also nightmarish, and occasionally dystopian, and very, very dark. Because, as I said, its main subject that it faces full on, that it is obsessed by, because its main character, Philip Seymour Hoffman, is obsessed by, the subject is death, through and through. And when it's put like that, you can see why they would have had a hard time marketing it when it came out, which is why on the DVD cover it says here that it's the smash hit comedy of the year, which is not one but 2 lies right there, because the first lie is that it's a comedy, as I've already explained exactly as much as I can what it is, but also the fact that smash hit, it was not a hit when it came out. It didn't even recoup its budget, so it was not a hit. So this is false advertising right there. But you can't really blame them, because how else are you going to sell this to people? Because otherwise they're going to think that it's a very arty, dour, depressing film that no one would ever really want to watch. But I just think that you should definitely see this, because it has a marvellous performance by Philip Seymour Hoffman. It is such a strange film, it is such a tragic film, and the fact that the whole film is about death will mean that a lot of people won't want to watch it. I mean, a lot of people didn't want to watch it back then, and I'm sure it will apply now. But having said that, despite the fact that the film is all about death, like I have said time and time again in this review, the film is still, by the end, strangely uplifting. More uplifting than you would have expected it to be by the film's end, considering all that had come before. And it's really the only way the film could end. And I won't spoil it for you, I just want anyone who sounds at all interested in the film to see it. I want anyone at all to see the film, because it deserves to be seen by as many people as possible, and I think it's a fitting tribute for Philip Seymour Hoffman, who shall be greatly missed. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than that. So yes, that's the end of that. Right, okay, thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.